Hey, when you're in Walmart and you shopping and you look up at the ceiling, that's about 30 feet from the ground. Now that ain't never really been important to me till now. I tell you why in a minute. Let me ask y'all a question. Have you ever played football or attended a football game? You notice how big the field is? All right, I got one more silly question. What about when you step out your shower and you look at the mirror and it's full of condensation? You got to wipe the mirror off because you can't really see your reflection or anything through that mirror, right? It's too foggy, right? If you start counting right now as fast as you can, let's see how long it'll take you to count to 767. Because as of yesterday, that's how many wildfires done broke out in the Southeast Georgia region. Firefighters and volunteers are working relentlessly to try to fight these blazes. But at times, the entire area look like that mirror in your bathroom. It's too fogged up. They can't see nothing. Over 55,000 acres of land and forestry done already burnt in about 5, 6, 7 days. To put that in perspective, that's about 27,500 football fields. This is the worst wildfire in Georgia in almost 20 years. Back in 2007, the Bugaboo Scrub Fire started in the Okefenokee Swamp. It burnt over 564,000 acres and it lasted for 3 months. Some conspiracy theories been suggesting that the wildfires are part of another plot. And that's why the Georgia Forestry Commission, who's in charge of the wildfire suppression efforts, are pulling fighters back from fighting the flames periodically. But let me explain something to you right quick. Now, remember we just spoke about the height of a Walmart ceiling when you're in there shopping? Imagine 5 Walmarts stacked on top of each other and how high the highest ceiling to be. When you look straight up at the highest ceiling, that's 150 feet. And that's the size of some of the fires that prompted the GFC to pull some firefighters back. You just can't fight 150 feet flame from the ground. You can't even get close to that. You ever been in the hood and stood around a barrel to try to get warm? Or for my white audience who tuning in, think about when you stand around a bonfire, dude. If that flame is big enough, you can't stand right next to that bit. You got to step back a few feet. So think about how far you got to step back from a 150-foot tall bonfire, or in this case, a wildfire. Now, real quick, let's talk about what a wildfire is and what the term containment means. A wildfire is an unplanned, uncontrolled fire burning in natural vegetation such as forests. When reporters are talking about containment, they mean how much of the fire has been surrounded by a secure line so it won't spread. Think of it like this: a barbecue grill. When you done grilling, the coals still be hot, but they're going to stay at the bottom of the grill and eventually they're just going to burn out. That means that the inside of the grill got the hot coal contained. All right. Out of all these wildfires, there are 2 of them are huge. The fire in Brantley County is 32% contained, and the fire on Pineland Road in Clinch County is 23% contained. That's up from 6% just a few days ago. Governor Kemp and crew did a press conference yesterday in Brantley County, where he mentioned that the fighters are trying their best to save everybody home and that they're heartbroken every time they can't. The director of the GFC, Johnny Sabo, he gave an explanation as to why they can't just deploy multiple aircrafts to dump water over the fires like some people think is possible. Basically, he was stating the obvious reason. You can't do that because of visibility. The pilots can't see each other in that smoke. It's too thick. You can't have all those aircrafts in the air at one time. Too dangerous. And Sabo mentioned that they have had pilots who've lost their lives for this reason. Condolences to them. Very hard lesson learned. Now, I want to get this clear. No pilots have lost their lives with this current wildfire, but it has happened before. He also stated that these fighters are fighting for like 20 hours straight. They're sleeping for like 2 and 3 hours, and then they're going back another 20 hours to help fight this fire, to continue fighting these fires. All right. Now, you can check that press conference out on social media somewhere. Now, on a personal note, from me watching the footage I've been watching in order to give y'all a better explanation than the mainstream, I gotta say I have a new respect for these firefighters, volunteers, first responders, the news reporters, everybody involved in helping this situation. Most people run from the fire, but some have to go to it. And no matter how you look at it, whether they get paid or not, it's still volunteering. Because when there's a certain level of danger, your mind can easily just tell you, fuck all that, I ain't going. But they're not. They are going and they're fighting to help those people who need them. So shout out to the fighters and everybody who's helping for real. A lot of people losing their cribs. One lady said she went to work thinking she was in a contained area, came back and her house was burnt down to the ground. She just went to work, came home, and her house was burnt down. When the evacuation order was first given, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were stubborn. They didn't want to leave. It's hard to just leave everything you got. Our senior citizen folk who've been in these homes, they probably been there all their lives. They don't want to go. And then you got those who just can't afford to start over like that. But I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I know you don't want to leave, but these ain't flood warnings or tornado warnings or hurricane warnings. This fire. And that fire gonna make your ass get somewhere. Stop playing. My heart goes out to all y'all. Better days will be back. Just hang in there. Okay, so although these fires are in the southeast region, a fire can break out anywhere because the entire state is under a level 1 drought and 91 counties are under a state-issued burn ban, meaning that no one is allowed to burn any damn thing right now. You can get fined up to $3,000 and damn near a year in jail. And just in case you wondering why they being so strict about this burn ban, all right, peep this. A local farmer was welding his gate on his property, right? A stray spark, it fell on the ground and caught fire. He called 911 like he was supposed to, but by the time they got there, it was too late to contain the fire. And that spark, my friends, has now turned into the wildfire that y'all been watching on this screen the whole time I've been talking. We'll chop it up later. I'm Rex Rush, bringing you your news our way. This is News in Black.